Hi, welcome to Navigating the Shift. Today we're going to be talking about current events, some politics. We're going to talk about Trump declassifying information. We're going to talk about the European Union elections and also about Mueller's press conference where he was talking about Barr and the report. I'll give you guys a heads up.
Okay.
We're not feeling serious today, so we might giggle, and that doesn't mean we don't think it's serious. We're just in moods.
We do care about you.
We can't stop.
Okay.
It took us 10 minutes to get this started because we keep laughing. Okay, so President Trump declassed all the information about the
Mueller report.
No. What about the Mueller report?
That's it. Come on, team effort. We can do this.
This is something we've all been waiting for. In the Q drops, they have listed, first this happens, first this report, then the declass, and then these are the steps that have been predicted that are leading to our freedom. And the very next day, Theresa May resigns.
Right. Okay.
And I have to imagine they're connected.
But also, she's had her own problems over in the UK. So the Brexit vote happened a while ago now, and it showed that the vast majority of people in the UK want to exit the EU. And Theresa May's government have been farting around, in an Australian colloquialism here, and not getting on with the job and not exiting, not coming to any kind of agreement. She's put forward ideas that failed like 4 different times. Maybe they really weren't acceptable ways to exit. And so she's resigned. And then they had the EU elections, where they vote for people that will be representing each country in the EU, and the Brexit Party wins by miles. So the UK are trying to show, come on, this is what we want. You are not delivering, so just get on with it. And so it'll be interesting to watch what happens with the government back in the UK now that their representation in the EU is all about getting out of there. So although it's funny because on a spiritual side of things, we talk about unifying and becoming all, where we go one, we go all. And yet, at the same time, we've got all this sort of nationalist stuff going on. You've got the MAGA stuff going on. You've got, Brexit. So it looks like we're all separating rather than unifying. But in fact, what we're separating from is the organizations that are trying to control the world. So if you break that all apart, then we can unify in a totally new structure. I think that's the best way to have a look at it. But there have been elections happening everywhere. In Australia here, the right-leaning party won. In Italy, the right-leaning party won. In France, Le Pen. Now, that's an interesting one because the press call her a far-right party, and yet everything that she represents is not like heading towards fascism at all. It's almost like something to scare people, and it's not working. If she won, then it's obviously not working. There was also Brazil, had a very lovely article, which I'll link below, from a fellow truth seeker. He is actually in Brazil and was showing these massive, massive groups of people marching in the streets to support the new policies that are being made by the new government now that the ex-president was arrested for corruption and is now in jail. So they've got new government in there, and all these people coming out are actually supporting the government and their new policies. So that's a really good positive thing to see as well. So that's it in a nutshell as far as I can see. It looks like right-leaning, but I'm thinking that some of them are not actually far right, and I'm also seeing that this breaking apart and looking after self first is necessary to break apart those organizations. Yeah,
Nationalism, I think is true. And I believe that what the other countries in the European Union are doing are watching the UK to see if, as the dire predictions have been made, that their economy is going to crash if they get out of the European Union.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, then it's sort of like, okay, we're out too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're out.
Yeah, because they've been controlled so much, particularly in terms of money. When everybody watched what happened to Greece in particular, where the oligarchs spent all their money, made them terribly in debt. And everything that was happening with the EU, the whole point of the EU was to be, let's all support each other and together we'll be strong, when in fact they're actually turning against Greece and making things far, far worse for them. And that was that huge thing that blew up some years ago now. It didn't help them at all. I think everybody else in the EU would have gone, oh, okay, this is not about being strong together. This is about beating up the smallest player in the group. each time so that somebody else can become bigger. This is a monopoly game.
Yes, it's a new world order, right?
Exactly. So I think as more people see that, they'll want to break out, which is great.
I think so. Coming out from under the hypnosis, I think that's what the biggest takeaway from this. And I watched a video by a fellow named Simon Parks. I'll link to his channel below. Was a politician. Now he's just an incredible, intuitive, really gentle, smart guy. He was talking about it, and he's British, so he knows a lot about it. And he said that basically most people were just shocked at the way these elections went. They just didn't see it coming. It's sort of like the...
So which people is he talking about, though? I mean, surely the ones that voted would have known who they wanted.
Right, but they didn't expect as many people to do it.
Right.
And the media, for instance, and certainly the people on the left-leaning side were totally shocked. It's sort of like they don't really have their finger on the
pulse,
on the thumb on the pulse of what's going on with people.
That's amazing, isn't it? You'd think the media, of all people, are meant to be in tune with what's going on with the people. So, because you would normally adjust your propaganda to match what was going on if you want to lead the people, but nobody is paying any more attention to them.
Right. They haven't been the thumb on the pulse. They've been trying to create the narrative, and it's failing. I think that's the number one takeaway is it's happening. It's happening. We're breaking free. People are, coming out from under the control of the mainstream media and the unions and the world, the Illuminati, deep state, whatever you want to call them. I think it's very exciting times to be alive.
And a lot of those media outlets are starting to lose employees, lay off jobs as well, which is a sign to show you that they don't have the income they used to have.
And CNN just completely shut their London office.
Oh,
fired everybody. Said
wow.
go try to get another job. Yep, they're like, whoop, we can't even maintain an office in London anymore.
Wow.
So bye CNN and mainstream media.
Tell us about the Mueller report as well.
He gave a very brief press conference, less than 10 minutes. And basically, I was watching a lot of it, and I watched some and read some interpretations of what was going on. And I think the bottom line that we can take away from this is, a couple of things. One, he said that Barr released actually more of the report than he'd asked him to. So we know that the deep state players have all been going, Barr's hiding things. We want to talk to Mueller. We need to get him in to testify. Well, Mueller said, nope, I have no more information to give. It's all in the report. The report is complete. He doesn't question William Barr, the Attorney General, good faith in releasing the information, that everything but the stuff that absolutely had to be redacted was released. It's all out there. So, you can't use the Barr's on Trump's side and is distorting the report story anymore. So they took that away. He also said, the investigation is over. I'm closing my office. I'm retiring. So he's just like, I'm out. So there's a lot of speculation. Is he a white hat? Is he a black hat? Well, he definitely has been a black hat because he was very big in the Uranium One scandal, which should have been a scandal.
And he's very good friends with Rod Rosenstein. Doesn't Trump say something about him being in love with Rod Rosenstein?
Yeah, but Rod maybe was like shown being chummy and friends and happy with Barr too. So a little thing that it was a retirement party, maybe? I can't remember what it was.
Keep your enemies
but
closer?
They're like laughing and making jokes, like who had the biggest stare. Remember the press conference where Rosenstein was standing back there going, they're like, which one of us had the worst stare? They were making jokes about it and stuff, which I thought, wow, this is lighthearted and fun. So who knows? But I suspect with Mueller that he got busted and he's under pressure, and he played his part. He did his report. He put out things that made it look like, he's going to get Trump. He's anti-Trump. Everybody on the bad side trusted him. And then once he played his part, he's out. You're done. You're out of here. And I suspect that's happening with a lot of the deep state actors, that they're probably have already been busted. That time when everybody was wearing those little ankle
bracelets then they suddenly covered it up with a boot.
Covered up with boots. Yes. Yeah. Oh, I strained my ankle. Whoops, it's on the other leg today.
Yeah.
Remember that one? Yeah. So, The other thing, though, one thing that Mueller did say was he's still going into the Russia hacked the DNC and got the emails and sent them to WikiLeaks. So he's covering up for Clinton there. So it's sort of a mixed bag, especially since he goes on to say, if we had confidence the president did not commit a crime, we would have said so. So it's sort of like
That's kind
reverse double logic, back speak. What?
Negative.
Yeah. Double negative. So the point with that is it puts it out there and it gives the Dems a bunch of stuff. Look, he said, he isn't confident he didn't do a crime. That means he did do a crime.
No.
But it's not the special counsel's job to decide if somebody committed a crime. That happens by judge and juries, right?
Yes.
It's his job to collect evidence. So it sounds like it's something powerful, but it's not, because, it's not his job to do that. He also mentioned during his presser that about presumption of innocence. So that sort of got thrown in there. Oh, the last one was interesting. He kind of contradicted himself because when he wrote the report, he said there was insufficient evidence to charge conspiracy. And then he's sort of saying, well, there's not, he sort of said it differently and went on to say that they knew they couldn't indict a sitting president. That's part of their rules. And he talked about all of that.
Yeah.
But they went ahead with the investigation because they might find co-conspirators who they could indict.
And then they didn't.
They haven't indicted anybody.
No, nobody.
So to me, that's like saying, we looked, we couldn't. It's like saying in the double negative kind of way again, there was no conspiracy. We couldn't even find anybody that conspired with them. We couldn't find anybody we could indict.
So with Julian Assange, the amount of things they want to charge him with in America has suddenly gone up, which means they want to take him out of the UK and into America. Now, if the female had made it to being the president, he wouldn't have even survived the plane ride. But if they take him over now, it's possible that they may cut a deal with him and say, we can let you off some of these if you can give us some information about how you got some of these leaks and what you can tell us about these 33,000 email off Hillary's server. So we simply have to watch that. He seemed fairly calm when he was arrested. I thought, God, seeing him in a UK jail did not feel good at all to me, but we haven't heard much more from him apart from what Pamela Anderson says. And do we trust her? Does she actually get to see him? We don't know. I don't know. I don't feel good about her either. I don't get a good feeling about her. So we don't even know if she's seeing him. But if they do indict him, I think he'd probably be safer over there in America than where he is in the UK.
That's not something my intuition says that we're getting him here. The fact that they added 17, maybe, a signal that, by the way, don't worry, Q's got him. Like Q says, they said that
we've got him. We have the source.
He's protected, right? So my suspicion and my intent, as I'm putting out, is that he's protected. So the last thing that I always watch the other side of the news, because you don't want to just listen to the stuff you like to listen to. And I can tell you they're screaming all over the radio and stuff. They're screaming, impeach, impeach, impeach. He's a liar. We're going to take him down. We're going to impeach.
Yawn.
Although I did see in one, can't remember, CBS maybe, I think it was, they said that Mueller's speech today made it harder to impeach. And I think Pelosi's backing down.
Now, Pelosi is being very strange as well, isn't she? So I know there was one video that came out which did look edited because it was deliberately slowed and made it look like she was slurring. And then another idea I was looking at last night was that this stuttering and losing of memory is an act that's been put on so that if she gets charged with something very serious later on, and it's highly likely that she will, considering her wealth went up.
And the shaking.
Like $20 or $40 million or something when she's only earning $200,000 a year. It does not make sense as to how she suddenly got
Except
so
for
wealthy.
her husband is a developer, and I'm not sure if that's just her wealth or if it's her wealth with her husband, and he could be making tons of money. Developers can get really rich. But
True.
The bottom line, even if they do try to do the impeachment and they get it passed in the House, which is Democrat controlled, it then has to go to the Senate and get a 2/3 vote. And there's no way it's going to pass the Senate. But what it does is it opens up, if you're going to do that, it's like, okay, now we have to see lots and lots of evidence. So how possible is it that there's sort of been a trap set up for them to try to push for impeachment so they have an excuse to get all this evidence to actually turn it around and
put it out to the public?
The investigators.
That's it. Put it out to the public. Because if these people suddenly got arrested and the public had no idea what things they were up to, then there would be pitchforks in the street. You have to kind of slowly release this information and say, actually, it was these ones over here, not that one that you're looking at. And turn the heads before you can start making the arrests, I think.
Yeah. The thing that I would like to remind everybody is when this stuff really starts coming out, already the reaction of just when the Mueller report came out and it said no collusion, right? They're like, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. We know he did. We've got to have him testify. We know he did something. Cognitive dissonance, right? Yeah. And as more and more of this keeps coming out, as well as the disclosure that's been coming out, the little dribble disclosure on extraterrestrials and
UFOs,
unidentified aerial phenomenon,
right?
UAFs, right?
Yeah,
the new name.
There's another one too. Reproduced alien vehicles. RAV. That's another one that they use. Nice. But that's reproduced by humans based on alien technology.
Who uses that? That's not in the mainstream.
No, there was a documentary. The guy died before it was produced. Isn't that surprising? But it was a very good documentary. Showed how there'd been research since at least the Nazis. There were photographs of Nazis with 0-point energy flying saucers that they had based on reverse engineering alien technology. It's been around all this time, 70 years, just like X-Files told us a long time ago.
Hiding in plain sight.
Absolutely.
So think of your loved ones who have no clue about what's really going on in the world. They have not had a single red pill, or maybe they just are a little bit suspicious about 9/11, but they just don't want to go there, When this stuff comes out, how are they going to feel? Have you ever tried talking to them about this stuff and seen how much they push back on you? My family member just got up and walked out of the room, and I'm sure doesn't even remember the conversation. It was like,
it's gone.
Like a robot.
Yeah.
Yes, exit. Just mid-sentence. You mean Pizzagate is real? Exit,
Unbearable.
So what's your job? First of all,
Compassion.
Like I said, set intent, put it out there in the universe, because we are co-creators. And if we just sit back, and unfortunately we can't just sit back and trust the plan. I don't think that's, I've got my popcorn ready, but I'm not, like we've talked about before, we're not out there in the streets arresting people or investigating people. What can we do? Set the intent. Keep Assange safe. Make this disclosure on all levels come out as easy, and make it be as easy as possible for people. Imagine in your mind your loved ones, multiply it out to your area, your country, whatever, even the world. Imagine them having support, either from their soul family or angelic support, whatever it is, support from us as well. It's important.
That's it.
See them getting as much support as possible in order to ease this transition.
That's it. Yeah, we've got to keep ourselves calm, and there's things to learn, and there's things that we may choose not to learn. That's always been a thing. Something that Q actually said as well. People will open up to as much as they want to know. And you've got to respect that. Don't push in their face things that they can't handle right now, because we're living in a tough world. Our last episode was on having no money, which is only one of the many issues that we have to deal with in this life, on this planet at the moment. Everybody has got their own stresses and worries and baggage that they carry. We're all doing our best, right? Even the worst asshole in the world is doing their best. And so, if you have people around you, I know it doesn't sound logical, but it is. If you have people around you, that's it. If you have people around you that are not coping very well, just hold attention for them, right? Just let them be. And some will rage and throw themselves about, so long as they're not harming people or animals or children. Okay, just let them do it. We've had our own times of screaming into the pillow and this can't be real. And then you find
Not me. I've never done that.
Okay, I'll speak for myself then. We all have our own ways of accepting this information, but just
lots of pillow time.
Hold the support for people is the thing. Have compassion, because it will be very hard for some of this information, and a lot of it, as Q says, will not be nobody wants to know about some of this stuff anyway. It is so appalling.
And not everybody needs to know everything, so don't be pushing, get it all out. We want everything to be shown. It's as little as is necessary in order to make the shift. There's a lot of extraterrestrials and a lot of people working to make this as smooth as possible on many, many levels. As co-creators, I think it's our responsibility to help with that. So if you're meditating, and I hope you are, doing your meditation, put some intent out there and make some changes in the world.
And if you're not a meditator, it's okay. You can always use those few minutes just before you go to sleep. They're very powerful minutes that whatever you set as an intention in that time just before you go to sleep, kind of you hold your vibration there right through your whole sleep, which is another good way if you need to manage stress, is to put out there, get yourself into a higher state of mind before you go to sleep. Then at least you've got the amount of time you're asleep to be in that slightly higher vibration. So you can set the intention then as well.
Very well, good.
That'll do.
Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. We had pretty good fun.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.